What's up guys, my name is Ace, and yesterday we got a fairly small update in Call of Duty Vanguard, but this did come with a good handful of changes, as well as fixes for things that they broke with the Season 2 Reloaded update. Now on top of this, I've also discovered quite a few other weapon balancing changes that went under the radar with the Season 2 Reloaded update, and I'm going to include that in this video as well. So diving right in, the first thing that I noticed that they fixed with this update, which is excellent to see, is they fixed the spy plane and counter spy plane, where with the Season 2 Reloaded update, they broke the cruise speed for these and they were once again traveling way too fast. That has been fixed again, and now we are seeing them move at a normal rate like we saw just before the Season 2 Reloaded update. So again, they're much easier to take out with launchers now. On top of this, with the counter spy plane, they actually nerfed this a little bit, and this is something a lot of us have been hoping for quite some time. This streak now only prevents you from calling in intel, spy plane, as well as local informants. Every other streak in the game, including your own counter spy planes, can now be called in when the enemies have a counter spy plane in the air. And this is excellent news, because previously, this would even stop you from calling a V2 rocket in, which was pretty ridiculous in my mind that a 4-kill streak could be a full-on counter to a 25-kill streak. Now, another thing I just wanted to clarify on this topic, with the Season 2 Reloaded update, they allowed Engineer to counter the counter spy plane, so it no longer blocks your minimap, but I didn't mention in that video when I covered that, how this affected your ability to call in other streaks when an enemy player has a counter spy plane in the air, and it turns out if you're using Engineer, you can call in any streak you want while the enemies have a counter spy plane up against you. So Engineer is in fact a full counter to the counter spy plane. On that note, in these patch notes, they are finally catching up with the hidden changes that I mentioned in a video a couple days ago. They have now stated those changes to the Engineer perk, so it counters the counter spy plane. They've also stated the change to the recoil with the 50 BMG rounds on the BAR, which, just in case you guys missed that video from a couple days ago, I threw this one together, so you guys can see the before and after there. It's mainly the initial recoil that's actually heavily affected while using 50 BMG. Now, one thing that I didn't catch that they also changed with the Season 2 Reloaded update, and they just applied to these patch notes, is they decreased the recoil when using the Chariot 18-inch rapid barrel on the BAR. So I did the testing for you guys here today, and this is the side-by-side, and as you can see there, that's actually a very significant reduction to the overall magnitude of recoil, so that barrel is much more accurate than before, which does surprise me because I don't think the BAR really needed any buffs in any way, even though this is just limited to one specific attachment. Additionally, they caught up on their patch notes with the ball turret gunner, so it now has increased audio levels while active. That's another thing that did happen in the Season 2 Reloaded update. I've already pointed that one out. And then finally, with this patch from yesterday, they actually made a couple adjustments to the arms race game mode, or more so, they fixed a few bugs with that. The first thing is players are no longer able to spawn on squad mates if those squad mates are in a contested base, which is an excellent change. That's how it should have been from the beginning, in my mind at least. They also fixed a bug where lethal and tactical equipment was being replenished every time you bought a field upgrade at a buy station. That will no longer be happening. Players will also no longer respawn with weapons equipped from the ground. They improved the victory and defeat UI at the end of the match, and they addressed an exploit that allowed players within the protected area of an own base to be killed by the Goliath field upgrade. And that's pretty much it when it comes to this update from yesterday, although there's one other thing I wanted to point out. They added a new playlist, and this is an experimental playlist, which is going to allow them to test various changes before pushing them into the full build of the game and the regular playlists, which I think is an awesome idea for Call of Duty, and I hope it's something we can see going forward. Many other games have basically like test servers that you can go on where they test out changes before forcing them into the full game. So it's great to see Call of Duty finally catching on to this. And with that, that pretty much covers it for the patch notes from yesterday's little update. However, like I said, I've also discovered a handful of other weapon changes that went through with the Season 2 Reloaded update, or at least presumably with that Season 2 Reloaded update, because I didn't notice these changes before that. So let's cover those today. And I do want to give a big thank you to all of you guys in the comment section that let me know about some of these changes at least. Some of them I discovered myself, some of them were noticed by you guys in the comments, and I really appreciate it when you let me know about this kind of stuff. But the first thing that changed here was the 22-inch Cooper custom barrel on the Cooper carbine. This one got a little bit of a nerf. Previously, this one had no impact whatsoever on your aim down sight time, and now it's going to be harming your aim down sight time by 10.9%. And that is enough to be noticeable, and this Cooper custom barrel is a very popular choice as well, so you may or may not have noticed this, but the Cooper does handle just a little bit slower while using that Cooper custom barrel. Next, the M1 Garand saw some changes. The first thing is both of the drum mag attachments for this. There's a 30-06 drum mag as well as a 6.5 Sakura drum mag. Both of these previously had a capacity of 16 rounds. That has been bumped up to 20 rounds for both of those. So a little bit of a buff to those ones. Additionally, the base aim down sight time for the M1 Garand has changed, and this was a buff. It went from 335 milliseconds down to 320 milliseconds. So you're gonna be aiming about 1 frame faster at 60 FPS. After that, the SVT-40 got a bit of a nerf to its base aim down sight time. Pre-patch, this was 450 milliseconds, and post-patch, our aim down sight time is 475 milliseconds. And then finally, for the hidden changes that I've noticed with the Season 2 Reloaded update, the G43 also got an adjustment to its base aim down sight time. Pre-patch, this was 350 milliseconds. This has now been buffed to 330 milliseconds. So just a quick recap, the M1 Garand and the G43 are aiming down sight a little bit faster, whereas the SVT-40 will aim down sight a little bit slower. And with that, that's finally gonna wrap it up for this video. Hopefully that's the last of the things that changed behind the scenes that were never mentioned in any patch notes. But of course, if you happen to notice anything else that seems different, please let me know in the comment section below, as well as what you think about this update from yesterday. Do you like the idea of having these experimental playlists where they can test out various changes before pushing them into the live environment? And also, what do you guys think about that counter spy plane nerf? Just let me know all of those thoughts down below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.